That's Jeff. He used to be my friend. Now I call him Nemesis. Jeff and I both attended an event at NHMS, a Roval in New Hampshire. Jeff's car is here. Notice the front air dam, the wing, the tires. This is my 914. It's 25 years older with old tires. Jeff being faster than me is really driving me crazy. I know the cars are different. I know things are a little bit different in the setups and design and all that, but I should be quicker. I could catch up with him more. And when I dig into the data, I really see that too. When we start looking here, we have the track map on our bottom left, time speed, we have speed, throttle position, brake pressure, and lateral G. I've got a steering sensor and Jeff doesn't, so lat G gives us a good way to compare here. As we start looking at it, we can see there's a lot of time and a speed disparity in the oval. And this is turns 1 and 2, and we can see it's NASCAR 1 and 2. I'm a little more okay with these. This doesn't drive me quite as nuts because he's got the wing, he's got the air dam. Those help him through there. I think I have room for improvement, but it's not the only spot, and it's one that it's sort of a high risk. It's the fastest corner on the track. It's a really long duration. On this day, it was pretty windy out, so I'm okay with what I did there. That doesn't bother me as much. But as we keep digging in, turn 3 is one of the spots that really gets me going. And if we zoom in here and we slide it over, we can see exactly what happened, and it's a challenge that I had all year. This is a mistake I've made since April. It's sort of one of my style things. It plagued me through the year and I got to work on it. But let's dig in and take a look and see what I did. So what we see here is I came in, and I'm the blue trace. I came in and I carried a little bit more speed to the apex. And it was something I was trying to do. I was consciously thinking the whole time about carrying that speed in, but it hurt me on the exit. You can see I braked later than Jeff. And if we use our delta function, we can look and say, I was on the brake 30 feet deeper. Yeah, 30 feet deeper. So a decent little margin there. It was something that really let me get into the corner. But that came at the expense of picking up the throttle. So as I came in, Jeff was able to pick up the throttle here. And we go back to our delta function, and I picked it up here 55 feet later. So you had 55 feet of accelerating that I didn't have. That's a pretty incredible amount, and it made a big difference. So if we keep digging in here, what we see is that I was 34 and Jeff was 38. He had a higher minimum speed, and he had it a little bit earlier, and he was able to pick up the throttle, and that gave him a whole bunch of speed all the way to the exit of the corner, and then the horsepower of my car made up for it. But what does that do time-wise? Well, let's check it out. As I entered the corner, I was about 9/10 behind in the oval. If we go right to the brake zone, I was 1 second behind. On the exit, I was 1.9. I lost 9/10 of a second in one corner. That's almost unbelievable to me that I made that much of a mistake, and I kept hammering it. I went through all my data. This is what I did the whole time. He really beat me through this zone of the corner, and it cost me a second, 9/10 of a second in one corner because I overcharged it. We swapped data at the end of the day. I really wish we had done this way earlier, so I could have had this information. I could have worked on it better. And that's really my mistake in not digging in, because comparing against myself, I just didn't see it. And the car felt busy. I was sliding. I was doing all I could to get that power down. So it felt like I was fast, but the data shows us I really wasn't. When we zoom out again, we can take a look at other parts of the track here too. Jeff was better than me down into turn 6, the bowl. He carried more speed, carried throttle later, picked it up, and carried it out. So here I lost, let's use delta again, in our time compare graph. We go somewhere close to the throttle lift. I lost another 3/10 exiting the bowl coming over the hill. One of the ones, Jeff's driven at New Hampshire a little bit more than me in the last couple of years. I actually looked, it's been 3 years since I've been there. His line over the top, kind of where we're looking now, was much better. As we dig into that video, We can see approaching the first apex here, he gives the car some more room as we get into it. The view is a little bit different because Jeff has the Smarty Cam with a 120-degree field. I have an 84, but you can see it. I run in there much tighter than he does as we get through there. Down the hill. This is another corner that I can't believe I was this far off. I really like this corner. It's a fun one. You get a challenge as you come down, you get some compression. But I gave up a whole bunch of speed in here. We can see that Jeff carried an extra 12 miles an hour down the hill. Just incredible. And then I started to pick it up and get through there, but I never caught up. One of the things that threw me off a little bit here is in years past, if we zoom in and we look right here, they put this patch of asphalt in. That used to be this really steep transition, and there was this big sausage sort of curve that came in there. And when you hit it, it was this real defining bump. And I realized as I was driving the track without that bump there, it really threw off my timing. It was something that I wasn't used to, and I had a ton of sessions that day. I just never adjusted to it right. And totally on me there. Jeff's extra time driving there and everything, he used that area way better than me, and it gave him a bunch of lap time. As we jump back out here and we start to look, we can see he finished strong through the rest of the lap too. I was behind, but I caught up on towards the exit of the front straight. I carried a little less speed in here. This is one of the spots that the car never felt super great under braking all weekend. I rebuilt the front end, I put new rotors and pads and everything in, and it felt like it changed the balance of the car a little bit. So I wasn't carrying it in there, but it's a spot that there's a lot of improvement. If we look at my trace, you can see it's this big rounded over spot, more than Jeff's. I had this lift out of the throttle right here, and then I would go back to the brakes. I think that can be tidied up a lot. I've done it much better in the past. So it's a spot where there's room for me to improve. You can see in the video right here, if we jump in, I was at 76. We come over to Jeff's video, he was 82. So he came 6 miles an hour through there on me. So he beat me by a bunch. This was all DE portion of an event. It was a lot of fun. Something I really enjoyed. I had a great time driving with Jeff and being able to hang out and geek out on some data with somebody else. But it's always hard when you leave something out there and you know you have the better skill set to do it. But it gives me something to work on. And it's late here. It's the middle of October in New Hampshire. So I'm hoping to be able to get back out again another couple times before the snow flies, get some days in, not have to travel too far south to do it. But here's a little bit of review how my day went, what my Nemesis did to me, and the spots I got to work on to catch up to him. I hope this shows you a couple tricks in looking at data and how to work through it, and follow along.